Still to my brother, what's happening?
Hey, fantasy, it's session. We talking touchdowns, receptions, interceptions. They got a ban the kicker, we need that correction. Swap them out, we flexing. How many of y'all you collect? We tryna get that winning record. Fantasy, it's session. Fantasy, it's session. Fantasy, it's session. Fantasy, it's session. Fantasy, it's session.
You.
What up, though? And we back. I'm Los.
What it is, hopefully is what it should be. Los experiencing technical difficulties on week one, man. The fantasy guys is not going to be in his favor this year, clearly. Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Session, the podcast. Today is September the 8th, and the boys are back in town, powered by Real Deal Fantasy HQ, as always. It's week one. We made it.
We here, man.
How you feeling?
I can't wait, bro. You know, usually I have anxiety, but I just been playing off like football, it'll come, whatever. But now we here, bro. I'm hyped, but one more day, it's over with.
Well, I was going to ask everybody's Super Bowl prediction before we get into the show, so maybe Los will come back. Let's give him a couple minutes, and we'll come back to him. Let's give our moment of silence out. And we back. All right, Lo still did not make it back yet. So let's go ahead, Javar, man. We'll do the show without him. Who you got coming in as the Super Bowl representatives first, and then who do you got winning the Super Bowl?
Man, we'll just go with the whole story. Brady and Mahomes in there, and they're gonna be Mahomes to top from this time.
You think Brady gonna make it to the Super Bowl again?
Bro, Brady, bro, as long as Brady got the ball with 3 minutes to go and a chance to score, he gonna win every game, bro. It feel like
that'll be so crazy. How many times would that be? Like 7? How many rings does Tom Brady got right now? Like
I don't
6?
keep count, bro. I don't keep count, bro. I just know he stole one from the Falcons. That's it.
Kyle Shanahan gave one to him from the Falcons. That's what happened. But so my Super Bowl picks, I still got Kansas City coming out of AFC, and I believe, like, of course, I'm going to say the Falcons because I just don't believe in saying any other team until Falcons are mathematically not able to be in the Super Bowl. But if they are mathematically not able to be in the Super Bowl, I believe the representatives from the the NFC. Oh man, that's hard because I only think about the Falcons. I do see how people say Tampa Bay, man, but I just don't see that. Like, you know what I mean? It's hard to repeat.
They got a great defense and they got to go.
Yeah, I can't think of no. I'm always thinking about quarterback play, and I can't think of any other quarterback that is going to be good enough to like win, to be in the actual Super Bowl. If his name is not Matt Ryan. Oh shit, Carlos is back.
Yo, what up, though? Bro, that was weird. Like, my damn camera just went out, like, literally right before we got on. So,
hey, Nari.
Yeah, let's get it, man. Goddamn.
We talked about how the fantasy guys probably not gonna bless you, bro. That's probably what that meant, bro. It's week one, and then
chill, bro. I don't need that type of like that aura surrounding my season, bro.
You might get some stat corrections this year.
I refute that. That.
But we was going through our Super Bowl predictions before we got into the show since you weren't here. So go ahead and give yours. I don't know what I said. Hold on, come back to me last. I don't want to say Tampa Bay. I don't want to say Tampa Bay.
Then you go last.
Yeah. But I didn't want to. So like now that you hear that don't count. It's a mulligan. It's a mulligan.
Yeah, the NFC's tough, man. I'm probably gonna go with the Chiefs and the Packers. I think the Packers finally put it together out of the NFC. You know, they got to the NFC Championship 2 times in a row, I want to say.
Yeah.
They lost, so got closer every time, man. Hopefully, they just make better decisions because they could have won that game. So I think they're going to put it all together and Green Bay, and it's Mahomes out of the AFC. That's an easy pick, unless it's an injury. I mean, I'm going to pick Mahomes to go to the Super Bowl every single year.
Yeah, me too. So I'm going with you. I don't want to go with Tampa Bay no more. So Packers versus the Chiefs. That's what I'm rolling with.
You did any bets?
Damn, I convinced you pretty easily, bro. So
I mean,
sure you don't want
but you didn't hear what I said at first. I said at first that if it's not the Falcons, because I don't want to root against anybody until the Falcons are not mathematically possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you can't. Yeah, it's not that you're rooting. You're just being realistic. You know what I mean? Like
it's not even.
Falcons fans have a history of being delusional,
right,
bro. We can't fit that mold, bro. We're not delusional, so we know what the Falcons go to the Super Bowl this year, bro. It's okay. Not yet. I'm still a fan.
Who are you, bro? You sound like Javar right now.
No. I'm just being real. Until I see it on the field, we know that defense need to step. Well, we know the secondary.
All right. We already had a pocket pack.
Even know they're not ready to be a Super Bowl contender.
How you know, man? It's a whole new team.
Because I've watched them
Super Bowl team
for a long time, bro.
Bro, we got new coaches. Anyway, this is not a Falcon podcast, bro.
Thank you.
Anyway,
all right.
So what we got? Packers.
Let's still rise up all day, baby. Let's go.
Nah, we don't want to hear that.
No, bro. Whatever, bro.
All right, man. So let's get into it, man. It's week 1, bro. How you feeling about week 1?
Let's go, bro. We're finally here, man. This shit still feels surreal to me.
Javar was talking about how he's scared, how all his teams are pretty much trash, and he normally has anxiety, but he knows his teams are not going to be good this year. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? I just paid my money for
Falcons fan, right?
I typically. So
hey, that's all cap, bro. All cap.
We got a lot of teams out there, man. So
right,
Javar got a good mixture of trash plus decent teams. So.
I went through.
Only got one secret. It's only one.
He said I only got one.
I mixture.
Bro, I went through all of my plethora of rosters today, just set my lineups, making sure all my Thursday players weren't in flex positions. If you're listening to this, make sure all your Thursday players are not in the flex role, so you can always stay flexible throughout the week. Javar, I'm doing a introduction right now into week 1. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to tell the listeners what to do. We don't want to talk about your sorry teams. I don't have any sorry teams.
Carlos don't have any sorry teams. Setting up your lineup was you like trash. Wide receiver 1, trash. That's what you did, basically.
Hey, you know when your team is trash when somebody is trying to trade for the trash on your team. That'd be the crazy part about it. And they be trying to tell you how trash
upgrade.
Bro, they be like, bro, he's not even good. Hey, wait till week 1. Wait till week 3, man. He's not even good, bro. Then why you want him?
Exactly, bro. That'd be the worst.
But yeah, man. So make sure all your Thursday night football players are in wide receiver positions, just so you can stay flexible throughout the week. Make sure you check your lineups. Last year I had a whole bunch of mix-ups. Cost me probably a couple dollars, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So just make sure you set your lineups, man. If you're in a whole bunch of leagues, get somebody to do it for you. That's probably what I should have did. But anyway, man,
let's get it.
Let's get into why we are here. The news and notes. The news and notes for week 1, part 1. The first. If you're new to the show, if you haven't listened to us before, we give the best game by game breakdown in the fantasy land. We go through every game, tell you the starts, the sits, tell you what you should not do. And if you got further questions, you can always hit us up on the plethora of social medias devices that we have, and or our website, or you can just email us, whatever you want to do, bro. We're here for y'all. Secondly, we got 2 parts of the show, so we'll do the first 8 games. If it's not bye weeks until bye week starts, then of course you go adjust accordingly. But for the first 4 weeks, or how many ever weeks it is till bye weeks, first 8 games, 1 episode, the next 8 games, the next episode. And yeah, man, we pretty much the shit. So if you're listening to us for the first time, man, welcome aboard. Here we go. All right, so the news and notes
to this session, baby. Let's get it.
The news and notes from week 1. We got DeAndre Swift has been named the starter for week 1. He's gonna play week 1. How do y'all feel about DeAndre Swift? I think a lot of people got him cheap in drafts because of all the
about the depth.
The injury.
Yeah, about the depth, definitely. Yeah, I feel good about it. He practiced fully today. That was Wednesday. You're probably hearing this on Thursday, but he practiced fully today, and I'm starting him, bro. If he's fully practicing, I think he's gonna be out there. So
all systems go for DeAndre. Hunter Henry is expected to play week 1. You know,
DeAndre?
That's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Hunter Henry is expected to play week 1. You know, we haven't heard a lot about Hunter Henry, been more Joe news, but I think both of them would be serviceable week 1 with Mac playing, especially in that thin tight end landscape. So if you got him, I would, when we get to that game, we'll talk about it. Anyway, Gus Edwards and Tyson Williams and Le'Veon Bell are the only running backs on the Ravens roster right
gross.
now. Le'Veon Bell
or something like that, I think.
Le'Veon Bell actually got signed to the practice squad. He's not even like a full member of the team yet. So
yeah, that's just because he's like he's gonna be on the 53.
Yeah,
but
sure.
did you put any claims on him, or did he go in your leagues? I didn't even look in any of my leagues, but
I didn't even look.
Don't do it.
Not in redraft, no.
Yeah, don't do it, man. We saw how washed she looked last year, bro, and that was with Kansas City. Yeah, I'm not really worried about Le'Veon Bell.
I'm still a part of Team Tyson Williams all day, every day.
Hey, y'all remember who called that right last year, right? Remember we had a little discussion about Le'Veon Bell?
I think I pretty much said he was going to be sorry too.
Victory lap. Well, you kind of was giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I was like, nah, fuck that too.
All right, probably so.
And he lied like I remember.
Yeah, that's
the main one. He was the main one. Shit.
Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, CEH and Darrell Williams are expected to play week 1. That's good news for all the CH owners. Dolphins are expected to lean as Myles Gaskin as the lead running back. You know, it was rumors coming out, or not rumors, but coach speak coming out earlier this offseason that saying it was going to be a running back by committee.
Yeah. Well, it was Gaskin or Brown was the first running back out there on that second preseason game. So it was that followed by the coach speak. So it was definitely some merit behind it for a while. But, if you evaluated the talent, I feel like Myles Gaskin was always the guy. So that was another guy that was started to dip a little bit, and I was fine with it.
Yep. Saints released Latavius Murray, keeping it running back here. They released Latavius Murray. So I pretty much expect him to be on the team pretty soon. A lot of people went out and picked up Tony Jones Jr. He'd be the only backup for the Saints, and I feel like being a backup for the Saints is a pretty good place to be. Even though I think Alvin Kamara pretty much he'll probably take a little bit more of a slight bump up. I wish it would have came out during the draft. I think he would have been risen a little bit higher. But yeah, so be on the lookout for wherever Latavius Murray lands.
They kind of did him dirty too, bro. Did you hear about that?
I read like they get paychecks as long as you on the roster on Tuesday or some shit like that, and then like they cut him like right before like he could get like paid, so he don't.
Oh damn! I didn't know about that shit, bro. Well, hold on,
shit.
bro. The check be what you previously
like weekly
did. So if he
it's weekly. It's weekly.
They pay you before you do the work for the week.
I don't know how to get paid, but I'm just saying what I read.
You know what I mean, bro? Like, so I mean, if it's a check, then it's for the shit that you.
Yeah, I do know what you say, but I'm pretty much saying. But if he probably already it's a salary though, so it's not like they get paid by week 1. So it's like.
Gotcha. I just know. I just heard that they pretty much asked him to take a pay cut 5 days before the season started, and he was like, "No, I'm not going to do that." Like, what the fuck? Like, and they
for sure
they cut him on the spot pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's kind of dirty, bro, because if you could have did that earlier in the offseason and gave him a chance to go out here and test out free agency, bro. So,
but the good thing is
get a spot. But
the good thing is running backs are pretty like injury prone. So I'm pretty sure it'll be a lot more places for him to pop up at that'll shake up the fantasy community.
Exactly, that's exactly what he's gonna do. He's gonna go to a backfield that's just gonna make it like a headache, bro. Like Atlanta or something. I want to go here, bro.
I don't like rooting for Saints. I wouldn't be surprised though.
I know they're probably like,
because Terry Fontenot.
Right, they might just like, I'm sorry, Wayne. Bye, and just take it.
Oh, just keep them. Wayne.
They got three running backs. Did y'all see the Falcons? The article that came out that said Terry Fontenot came out basically in an interview, said, man, expect more shakeups to the roster, man. It's not over. We always searching for perfection. Hey, bro, I know it's not a Falcon podcast, but one more thing about the Falcons, bro. If you want to like be hyped about the season, go to YouTube, and they did like a mini Hard Knocks themselves, like 10-minute videos each. Bro, that shit is fire. Anyway, Austin Eckler was not practicing during open period today. He was working on the sideline with trainers, but that's something to monitor going forward. Chris Godwin, who's playing tomorrow in Thursday Night Football, is off the final injury report, so he's all systems go. We'll talk about him later this episode. Curtis Samuel pulled up on the sideline during practice, and he was with trainers toward the end of practice.
Bro, it ain't look. He just ran around just like
De'Ami Brown.
Oh man, I don't know.
De'Ami Brown.
It's been some rumblings about him, and I mean, he might have the opportunity now.
He gone.
But
that's
get
a
well
good hot
soon,
take.
Curtis Samuel. That kind
I'm
of
not hot take, but DFS play. I think that's a good DFS play. Ramondre Stevenson dislocated his thumb in practice today. So James, I forget his name. James White. He might be a good play this week. In certain situations, I'm not saying you should play him. We'll get to that when we get to it.
I just think Harris get a little bit more burn now.
But I'm saying as far, yeah.
You know, White always had the pass catcher, but my bad.
White probably get a couple more rushes sprinkled in there, but they say he's gonna play.
Oh, they said he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
Shout out to Troy. I don't know if y'all seen that tweet that he made about like how these football players is tough as hell, and he's dislocated his thumb, but he's still expected to play. And like if that was like us, like hell no, I ain't playing. What the fuck? I'm the same way, boy. Like no, I was out for months when I dislocated my pinky, bro. I was out for months, bro. I swear. Shit. Nah, these boys out here playing the same.
Oh my
week.
God, bro!
I did not expect that. Like,
your finger looks crazy, bro. Let me see it one more time, bro.
Nah, bro, go move on, bro. Fuck that, man.
Hey, bro, if you're watching this on YouTube, bro, go back and look at that because that shit is crazy. But anyway, man, y'all got. Oh, I thought you was holding it like that, but that's wild, bro. Are you tough, bro?
Like you throw the West Side real quick. What you say? What you say? You like throw it up real quick. Oh, he's hilarious.
Y'all got any more news?
Evan Ingram is, he hasn't been practicing lately, and I think I read a report saying that he's not expected to play on Sunday. So who's the next? Kyle Rudolph, I guess. Maybe not. But
Saquon Barkley is what I say.
Barkley,
I think that's what you meant to say.
Saquon Barkley, yeah. He's coming off an injury himself, so
I'm not believing in this. They're not gonna give him the backfield. Like if they get into a tight game, there's no way they take him off the field. It would be
smart
it would be smart, but I'm saying if they get into a tight game.
I'll put it like this: he got
Saquon Barkley's like a 25 touch, 30 touch guy a game, bro.
I don't think they're gonna give him 30 touches, but I'm saying I think he's gonna get more touches than what.
He's
like
gonna be
I feel like
workhorse. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the limit count back.
Ain't no 1A 1B shit. No, none of that. Just they're not gonna give him that heavy workload, so they know that he's ready for that.
He getting at least 15 though.
That's a smart business decision.
Anything.
Yeah. Okay, I thought. Okay, we saying the same thing then.
Yeah.
Oh, y'all got any other news?
Nope.
All right, man. So let's get the people what they've been waiting for, man. What the people here to see not the news and notes. I'm about to say the best game by game breakdown in the fantasy land. We're gonna start off with the Thursday night football game, of course. Week 1 is finally here, man. This is the part we've been waiting on.
Yes,
Dallas
sir.
Cowboys.
Oh, bro, that's just gonna be so lit, bro. I can't fucking wait. Sorry.
Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Super Bowl champions, whatever. 9.5 point favorites are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's been going back and forth all week though, so that's the last time I adjusted it.
When I started doing my notes, it was 7 and Tampa Bay minus 7.5. So that shit moved 2 points already, bro.
Yesterday it was 7 when I did it, and then I just happened to be like doing them like more today, and so I just happened to see it at the top, and I just readjusted it. So now it's 9.5. I don't know what it'll be by tomorrow. The over under 52. I think that's the highest on the week.
One of the highest. Last time I checked, I think Kansas City game had a pretty high over under too, like 52 also.
Oh, okay, for sure. Dak Prescott, of course, we're gonna start him. He's practicing in full after only playing 4.5 games last year. Tampa Bay pretty much brought back all their starters, and Zach Martin will be out due to COVID. That is one thing to monitor, but I think if you drafted him, you have to start him, of course. But I would temper my expectations on like Dak's comeback, even though I think it's gonna be a high-scoring game, and I think he'll throw the ball enough. It is just something to monitor. I think Zach Martin being out is going to be a big factor. He's like one of the best guards in the league. Ezekiel Elliott finished last year as the running back 9 in one of his worst years, as I might say. I think he finished like top 10 the year before that, and we said that was one of his worst years, but he's still in the top 10. During week 1 through 4, Zeke averaged 18 fantasy points in half PPR leagues. That's when Zach was still healthy. After week 5, Zeke only saw the end zone twice, so that took off a little bit of the Zeke prominence, if you will, that we wanted to see from Zeke. But while Zeke was healthy, he saw at least 7 targets, all except for week 1. So that is something positive to see there. And last year, Tampa Bay had the number 1 rushing defense, only allowed 80 yards on the ground. So I do think Zeke could get a lot of work out of the backfield through the air. So, of course, Zeke is the start for me. Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, both are starts. Through the first 4 games last year, CD averaged 7 targets per game, Amari 12 targets per game. That was crazy, but a lot of people sleeping on Amari Cooper this year. Tampa Bay will be good. They they are good on the rushing game, but where they were affected is last year, even though it was still pretty good, was 12th in passing yards allowed. So they could be attacked there. Cooper should be matched up against Carlton Davis or Jamel Dean for most of the year. PFF has them graded at 67 and 78 respectively. Both allow over a 70% catch rate also, though. So I don't think that we should stay away from either of those two. Lamb should be matched up against Sean Murphy Burting, who is a 55. Who is great. I was really trying not to mess his name up. He graded a 55 by PFF last year. He was the second most targeted cornerback on the team, and he gave up a 78% catch percentage last year. So all systems go for CD. I know Carlos is all on CD's train this year. I got CD as a top 10 play probably this week. Michael Gallup has.
I don't know where I actually have him at this week, but breathe, Gabe, breathe. That boy going in.
I'm trying to make sure we get through this. I know people are trying to be here for an hour.
I feel you. I mean, I feel like what it comes down to for them, like, well, go ahead. I mean, let me let you finish first before
I just was going to finish off. Michael Gallup had 6 targets a game through the games where Dak was healthy. Starting him will be based on your options to me. We'll pretty much switch and see whatever corner Cooper doesn't see. But PFS says it'll be Davis for the most part. He also led the team in yards per reception with 13.7 and gave up an ADOT of 11.8 as a corner last year. So Michael Gallup does do the big plays, and Davis does give them up. So that is something to look out for. I don't think Michael Gallup is a bad play this week. And one of my streamable tight ends for this week, a streamable option I have is Blake Jarwin. Devin White, who he'll be matched up with for the most year, finished. What happened? Can you hear me?
Yes.
He'll be in charge. He'll be in charge of covering Schultz for the most. Well, Schultz was the tight end last year. He was the third most targeted tight end. I mean, the third most targeted linebacker when guarding tight ends. He gave up the second most fantasy points on targeted routes among linebackers and safeties, and the third most yards covered per route covered last year. Schultz also took over for Jarwin after week 1 injury. Dak was playing with Schultz, and he saw at least 8 targets all but 1 game. So I think tight end play is definitely in. If you went the streaming route for tight ends, I think Blake Jarwin is a good play. All right, that's my Cowboy right now. If y'all got something.
Don't like the Blake Jarwin call, just because I don't know how much him and Schultz are going to be like involved in the play. So I guess if he gets a touchdown, that's what you're looking for. But do we really want to take that chance week 1 on Thursday night?
Yeah, I heard that.
I personally wouldn't, but if you're brave enough, go for it.
You muted yourself, Gabe. But yeah, I agree. I heard the tight end split time, but everybody, and if you got Gallup as your flex play, I like.
Yeah, and that's the other thing I
agree with.
want to talk about. Like, so let's talk about some options with Michael Gallup because you might be going through this in your league. So Michael Gallup or Michael Pittman against Seattle.
Michael Gallup.
Now I think I'm going Pittman. He might be like the number one wide receiver out there.
You know what I said about Pascal. Just quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel you, but either one of them.
Michael Gallup or Parker.
Who Parker? Devontae Parker.
Devontae.
Michael Gallup.
I think I'm going Gallup there. And one more, Michael Gallup or
I might go Parker.
Antonio Brown in the same game.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I'd take Antonio Brown as the third.
Okay. So like a flex play. Flex play in deep leagues. I like it.
I think he's in there.
Yeah, I like it.
On the other side of the ball, we got Tom Brady coming in. He finished as a quarterback 7 last year, 610 passing attempts. Jabbar think he's going to go back to the Super Bowl. They've returned everybody pretty much on the whole team. He's going up against Dallas.
Pretty much everybody.
He's going up against the Dallas team last year that gave up 227 yards per game through the air. But they do have a little bit of a revamped defense with old coach of ours. I don't really want to say his name on this podcast, but it's cool. Whatever you do. I think, of course, you want to start Tom Brady. I think he's a good start. Rojo and Leonard Fournette. I know a lot of people are on the fence about starting one of them. I got him at sit until further notice. How do you feel about them, most?
I'm fine with either of them as a flex. I feel like just because of the line and the total or their favorites, they're heavy favorites in the game. Plus, it's a high over under, so I feel like they're gonna get out to a big lead, and then that leaves room for them to get some decent rushes towards the end of the game, and of course they'll have them goal line opportunities. It's pretty much a 50-50 split though, so I mean you don't know which one. So I understand if you want to sit them. So if you have better options, yeah, go for it. But I'm not against it just based on the matchup. They're heavy favorites, and it's a high projected total in the game. So.
And also, Gio had a high ankle sprain or something like that, and I don't know how that's going for him. So, yeah, as long as they're a flex play and desperate running back 2 situation, I agree in the flex for sure.
Yeah. But don't put them in the flex, though. Put them in a running back spot.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
I still would be cautious if I had other options. But I know a lot of people that want 0 running backs, that might be their option. So I do agree with the over under being so high that I feel like they should be startable. That's why I feel like you can pretty much start any of the wide receivers also. Do y'all got any Javar? Who do you feel like is going to be the most highest scoring wide receiver on the team? I don't know. It was a report that came out this week saying Tampa Bay. Yeah, it was a report came out this week saying that Antonio Brown looked like the 4 or 5 years ago Antonio Brown, which I don't believe is 4 or 5 years ago because clock doesn't go in reverse. But I do believe he looks good.
Draft season.
I'll put it like this: Evans is the touchdown guy, but I feel like Godwin, second year with Brady, he should really just juice up in that Edelman role, bro. But he can do more with those Edelman touches with Yaks, yards after the catch. So I'm going with Godwin.
I think I'm going to go Godwin also. I think he has the easiest matchup against Jordan Lewis, who was graded a 48 by PFF. He gave up a 68% catch rate. He had the 7th most receptions allowed in the slot in the whole NFL last year. Evan will have Trevon Diggs on him, so that'll probably be a little bit tough of a matchup. I expect him to make a big jump in his second year. He was the 3rd graded rookie according to PFF. And I think AB will probably have a big game also. I think it'll go Godwin, AB, Evans for me.
Yeah, bro. I'm gonna just go against the grain and say AB has the best game. I don't know, bro. I
can see it. I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not gonna have him ranked like that. If I had all three, if I had all three, it would be Evans, Godwin, AB. But it literally can go either way, bro. It can literally go either way, bro.
Well, I need to switch it up. I got Mike Evans, wide receiver 11, and then Godwin, wide receiver 17. So I'm Mike Evans right now.
Then Godwin's kind of banged up, but also AB's a little banged up. So I don't know how serious either.
They
of
said he
those
wasn't
are.
banged up. They said the AB missed practice. It was just a regular maintenance day for his
Yeah.
knee. So I don't know if he's
Yeah,
banged up. I think he's just old.
it's gonna be interesting to see how this shakes up throughout the year because we only got a limited time seeing them last year all together, but they all pretty much had their games, but AB was targeted on 27% of his routes. So like when I don't know if that was just he was trying to get him up to speed since he missed a lot of time, or if that's just his guy, man. Targets are earned. So if AB's out there getting the most open out of everybody, bro, then I wouldn't be surprised if AB is the number one guy out here. So
Ooh, Eckler officially did not practice with hamstring issue.
breaking news.
That's what he's going with, right? That's what he's dealing with.
Well, we always not worried until they don't practice Friday. If you get a notice on Friday, he's playing Sunday, then I'm nervous.
I got you.
That means we're going into the weekend. It's still pretty early in the week. Don't get all the listeners scared.
All right.
I thought you might have say officially out, bro. Like,
yeah, that's what I thought he was about to say. Like, what is that? Don't put it officially in front of that. I didn't practice today either. Gronk, he finished last year with 3 touchdowns over the last 4 weeks. He only got over 4 targets though one time, but he will be matched up against the rookie Michael Parsons for the most of the part of the game. I don't know about if you want to start Gronk. I feel like Blake Jarwin to me personally is a better start than Gronk, but how do you feel about that, Los? I know Los is look at these Raiders' eyebrows.
Yeah, I'm definitely starting Gronk over Blake Jarwin, bro. Yeah, I'm not getting too crazy week one. Like I said, they had that chemistry. They have that chemistry. Him and Gronk, man. Or Brady and Gronk. So I don't mind it. OJ Howard is healthy though, so I mean that would be interesting to see. That's the thing about week one, as what the listeners should realize is we don't have a lot of data points to go off. It's a lot of new stuff. It's a lot of new moving pieces and stuff. So we have to I feel like week one should be the chalkiest of weeks. Like,
for sure.
Start your starters that you started. You know what I mean? Like your first 9 picks should be all starters, like almost, or first 7 picks or whatever. But yeah, it does. I just don't believe in getting too crazy that first game, bro, until we kind of can get some data points to work with and see how people are being used and stuff like that.
I'm team don't get crazy either. Start whoever you drafted. Probably what is it? 11 picks is probably your draft. Exactly. Probably people that you want to start. You know what I mean? Don't get too crazy. But that's all I have for that game. Y'all got anything else that I missed or y'all want to touch on before we get to the next one?
Nope.
All right, Pittsburgh are at the Buffalo Bills. It's 6.5 point over under for the for the Buffalo Bills with a favorite for the Buffalo Bills with a 45 point over under.
48 point over under. I got 48.
I checked. Oh, okay. I checked yesterday. It was 49. So it might have went down. Big Ben, who I think a lot of people are sleeping on last year, finished 14 with 608 attempts and 33 touchdowns. How you feel about Big Ben?
I think he's a fringe starter. It depends if you like just wanted the position in your drafts in 1 quarterback leagues, but in QB2 leagues, I'm okay with it. He ended the season pretty bad last year. He only averaged 16.5 points in his last 6 games. So, I think you can probably have better options in 1 QB leagues, but like I said, QB2 in middle Superflex. Buffalo was middle of the road in points allowed to the QB positions. And like I said, solid QB2. On the other side, of course, you're starting Josh Allen. Running backs, starting Najee, easy. He finally has a pass catcher running back, which also should help Ben out. Don't like the Buffalo backfield. I think I'm going to go ahead and sit both of those guys. We don't know who is the clear leader back there. And, of course, Buffalo is a 6-point favorite. So, and they were tied for last in rush percentage in games where they had a 6-point lead. So if they come out here on fire, like they're still going to be passing the ball. I think in preseason with Josh Allen, he came out here and threw 18 passes. He threw like 18 or 17 passes out of his 18 snaps. So that they still want to throw the ball with Josh Allen. So I'm not touching the backfield there. Y'all got anything else on that?
Yeah, he didn't. Even last year when they played each other in week 14, he only ran the ball for 28 yards, but he passed the ball for 238 with 2 touchdowns. And Stephon Diggs went crazy that
I
game.
remember that game.
Yeah, for sure. I don't like any of the running backs. Also, I'm cool on the running backs. If they come out after week 1 and they show you something, then that's cool. But other than that,
they're just so pass happy, and they don't have one guy. It's a committee.
That's pretty much how I feel about Tampa Bay.
No. At least they the red zone. You wanted them to get the red
exactly.
I don't. But
Josh Allen is the red zone running back in,
in
Buffalo. Yeah. So and he's the best running back on the field for Buffalo at the moment. So that's the only problem versus Tampa Bay.
Other than that, though, did you talk about the wide receivers yet?
No, I'm starting from the Steelers side. I'm starting Deontay and Claypool. I think they're both going to see a mixture of White and Levy Wallace. And of course, Deontay was targeted on 27% of his routes last year. So even if he gets a tough matchup for half the time, because I think White is better than Wallace, but he'll see both. But the most important thing with Deontay is he's going to get that volume. 27% of his routes last year, 5th most in the league. Claypool not going to get the same amount of targets, but he had a super high yards per route run last year, and what he doesn't get in volume, I think he has the upside that Deontay doesn't really bring. So definitely starting those 2 guys. Now Juju, I'm not sure about what y'all think about him.
I like Juju, man. I think Juju, he got one of the best matchups this week, going against Trayon. I don't know how to say his name. Trayron Johnson. Yeah, he allowed the most slot receptions in the NFL last year, although it wasn't any touchdowns, but as far as like PPR and a 74% catch rate. So I think, and he had 6 catches, 55 yards and a touchdown last year when they played. So I think all 3 of them starting. He will be last on the list though.
Last, because you just know he's not going to have no upside. And he did see a lot of he's due for some touchdown regression this year. He had 9 last year, only 97 targets. So I definitely expect some touchdown regression, but if you're in a full PPR league, then he's definitely a starter.
I don't know. I'll come back on my thing. I think I got Deontay, Juju, then Claypool. Ooh. Just because Claypool's matchup is a little bit rougher.
I like Claypool. I mean, I like Deontay volume. Claypool should get a lot of touches, but I just feel like Deontay gonna get a lot of targets. And Juju in the flex, I'm cool with you if you got Juju in your flex. That's what he is for as right now. That's what he is. Especially Najee Harris on the team now.
Yeah, Deontay, Clay, and Juju for me.
Mm-hmm. All right, who you got, Javon? What you got?
Yeah, Deontay, Clay, and Juju.
All right, so I'm the only, but I got Deontay, Juju, Clay. So we'll come back to that next week. You got anything else?
That big ball. I mean, the deep ball threat. You just can't deny that. One catch and he had 7 yards. I started to say it, then I tried to say it another way, and it's still
you fucked up.
It was like I'm just gonna go through with it, whatever.
On the other side, of course, you're starting Stephon Diggs.
That's my boy. That's my boy.
How do y'all feel about Gabriel Davis or Emmanuel Sanders, though?
Is he healthy?
I think you meant to say Cole. I'm thinking that's all I'm about to say. The only other one that I would start just based off PPR alone is Cole Beasley, because you just know he's going to get targets in that slot. And the cornerback he's going against gave up the most yards and slot receptions and receptions period on the team last year. So I feel like Cole Beasley could be a sneaky start this year. I'd never feel safe starting Cole Beasley, so I'm not telling you to put him, but in DFS for sure, I think you should play him. He's probably
Cole Beasley in the flex. I feel like you can almost start him every game. He's basically the tight end guy on the team. He gets all the little short across the middle, right? All that type stuff where the tight end should be working. So as long as Buffalo doesn't get a tight end, I feel like you can always start Beasley in your flex.
Be on the lookout for Dawson Knox.
No love for Emmanuel Sanders or Gabriel Davis?
Until we figure out what's going on out there with Emmanuel Sanders and Davis, how they're gonna split touches or what's going on. I'm gonna just watch and see.
Looks like Sanders is ahead.
I know
he saw the most targets. He saw the most targets and snaps during the 3rd preseason game. They line them up all around the field. So I mean, it looks like he beat out Gabe Davis for that opposite receiver spot on opposite Stephon Diggs, but we know that Gabe Davis can work his way up there, and they do run a lot of 4 wide receiver sets. And like you said, they don't throw to their tight ends like that. So they both could be good plays. But if I had to start somebody opposite of Diggs, it would be Sanders right now.
Flex play, I take Sanders as flex play. John Brown had good games when he
deep
played.
Leagues, though. Deep leagues.
No, I'm not going with it. I just
when I have a regular league, I think about 2 running back, 3 wide receivers, tight end, 2 flex. So that's usually my thought.
I just say be careful because he is going against the Pittsburgh defense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really, like you said, it's week 1, so you don't want to get too crazy. We know Pittsburgh is going to have a good defense, or they did last year. They only gave up a 56% completion rate to quarterbacks. So I feel like he's going to lock on to Stephon Diggs, probably similar to what he did last year. Diggs had double-digit targets that game, and we're just going to rock out with what we got. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like week 1, just be careful. That's all I'm saying.
Start your studs.
Be careful, but start Blake Jarwin over Gronk.
For sure, man. Gronk didn't really do nothing, but y'all act like Gronk was like this other world.
When you watch,
I told you what he did. I told you what he did at the end of the season. He had he had 3 touchdowns, and he didn't have a game over 4 targets.
Yeah,
he had 1 game over 4 targets
too. Like he had clearly drawn up plays for him.
I'm just saying, and we got the OJ Howard lurking. You know what I'm saying? So just be on the lookout for that also.
Yeah.
Y'all got anything else?
I'm hoping
that completes it. Not touching any of the tight ends out there. So
no, I'm cool. Jets are at the Panthers. The Panthers are a 5-point favorite with an over/under of 45 points. Zach Wilson will be getting his first start as the rookie quarterback. I got him as a sit in regular 1 quarterback leagues, but 2 quarterback leagues you probably got to start him. How you feel, Javon?
The Panthers allow 19 fantasy points per game to the quarterback last year, but like you said, you simply look to start on the Panthers' pad defense allows 7 yards per attempt, which tied for 9th in the NFL. And the promising first rounder JC Horn is on the team now, so I just said just to see how he come out and do. And where you drafted Zach Wilson, that you should have the opportunity to sit him. So definitely sit him on the opposite side with Sam Darnold. He could be a streaming option if you have to go there. He's going against a Jets poor defense. I know the head coach is coming over from San Francisco, but he doesn't have the talent on the Jets team that he had in San Francisco at the moment. So they basically haven't got better. The weakest link on the Panthers team is that O-line, but that shouldn't be a problem this game. I got Sam Darnold as a mid to low quarterback too, with a little upside. And then
bench game.
Right. So, hopefully come out there and do something. You got CMC, you start your stud, but CJ Mosley is back. He did take a year off, I believe, or something. So we'll see how that goes. CJ Mosley was one of the best in the league when he was playing. So you still start your guy, but CJ Mosley should be covering CMC out the backfield.
So I don't give a fuck who guarded that motherfucker. What?
The wide receivers for the Panthers have an enormous mismatch this weekend. Fun fact, they are one of the only 2 duos wide receivers to go over 1,000 yards last year. The other 2 were Seattle with DK and Lockett. So, yeah, DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson were the only other receivers that went for 1,000 yards. So these wide receivers can be productive, and they're going up against some late-round undrafted cornerbacks, and they're making their NFL debut. And on the other side, there's Bryce Hall. So I got these guys early wide receiver 3 and a late wide receiver 2 value. I believe Robbie Anderson is going to be the guy that should have a more better connection. T. Marshall is a guy you should watch. You could think about putting him in the flex, but I would just chill on that for the first game. But he also has a great matchup against a 5th-round pick or an undrafted rookie, whoever gets the start in the slot. So Terrence Marshall has a good opportunity to put up some points as well. if you thought about starting him. And that's all I got for the Panthers team. Y'all got something?
I like
tight
that,
end.
You
Terrence.
would start Robbie over Moore?
I'm starting both of them, but I just feel like the connection should come out. And you've seen a little in preseason. Darnell Anderson.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
might want to update your rankings, bro.
I think I would
You got him
start.
buried.
I think I would start Robbie over Moore. Also, like Javar said, that connection that they had in 2019.
Just answer the question.
For sure. All right, go ahead, head ass boy.
Like, how you gonna tell me that and then give his spiel? Like,
Hurry up and say yours so I can say my breakdown.
right.
Fuck you,
It's my
dude.
turn.
Go ahead, bro. Finish your take.
No,
It's more
Are you
for
done?
Me. It's more for me.
It's Robbie for me.
Okay.
On the other side, for the running back, I'm not looking to start any of those guys as committee at the moment. The running game has upside with the new OC, Mike LaFleur, but it's likely to be a committee. Just stay away to somebody, becomes the alpha, if somebody becomes the alpha in that backfield. Wide receivers, the game script should help them. Corey Davis will probably draw J.C. Horn, but I'm still starting Corey Davis as my wide receiver 3. Volume is king, and he going up against a defense that's gave up 8 yards per target last year. But Davis, like I said, should see volume, so I like him as your wide receiver 3. Elijah Moore is a future stud, but only feel comfortable starting him in the flex. Crowder is still out with COVID. I haven't heard anything, so
I think he's still out.
So, and they should be playing from behind. So Elijah Moore could see some targets. So I like him in the flex. And this could be an opportunity for Moore to step up and just, take over from week 1. So I like to see Moore do that. Tight ends on the team, man. Y'all got anything?
Nah, I
just on the Jets backfield, I would say I agree. Don't start anybody, but I would keep my eye on Ty Johnson. Maybe put him on your watch list because he did pop in preseason, and we know that Coleman isn't really that guy. He never. We brought it up multiple times. He hasn't kept the job that he's had for a while. So definitely want to keep your eye on him. And I think I'm more of a wait and see. I guess it depends on who you're starting him over.
Who else they gonna throw with game script behind? Who else they gonna throw to? It's
a 45 over under, so it's not super high scoring. And he can go. He definitely could have a good game, but it just depends on who you're starting him over.
Yeah,
that's what it is for me.
Would you start him over Michael Gallup?
Yeah, I would.
I
feel he could be a week 1 winner where Gallup should just put up.
I think if you're chasing points, maybe
Gallup.
Yeah, I don't know. Even if you're chasing points, because the points are in the Dallas game, so I would go to the points. Yeah, I can't depend on, like you said, you can't depend on the touchdown, and that's what.
And you have the fact that he's coming off an injury too. He missed all the preseason, so he's a rookie, and I want to kind of see him get on the field first before I throw him in the lineup in a real.
I think I got him out there. I got him out there in a couple flex. Y'all about to make me start Darnell Mooney.
You good, bro?
I would definitely start Darnell Mooney over him, but that's just me. I got him as a wait and see on my notes too. So you know what I'm saying. If he goes off week 1, cool. Then we'll put him in the lineup week 2.
I could do.
Trust the
After
process,
week
man.
1 shouldn't hurt you, bro. Week 1 shouldn't hurt you if you don't have him in your lineup or you did a horrible job drafting. Yeah. But y'all got anything else from that game?
Nope.
All right, so coming in the next game, we got the Jags as the 3-point favorites against the Texans. Over under 44.5 points. You got anything else?
No, that's right.
All right, we got Trevor Lawrence. The Texans finished 9th in passing yards allowed last year. They lost J.J. Watt, so that can't be a positive. They have 7 rookie quarterbacks have finished top 12 since 2010. DJ Shark is expected back, so that can only be a positive. I think he's definitely a streamable option if you went 0 QB in your leagues.
You probably starting him in most leagues.
That's what I'm saying. If you drafted him, that probably you drafted him as your number 1 quarterback, so you could, unless you just have one of them top 5 quarterbacks, of course. You know what I'm saying? Start those guys. But if you got him, I feel comfortable putting him out there. On the other side of the ball, don't start anybody that I think to name is pretty much not Brandon Cooks. And even then, this is like that's a must. It's if you have to. You know what I mean?
Damn, even Brandon Cooks though.
Yeah, bro.
I'm putting him in.
He'll be matched up. He'll be matched up against Shaquille Griffin, who was in Seattle last year. He played most of his snaps covering the number 1 wide receiver. He's graded 63 by PFF, but he only gave up a 62% catch rate. I just think that the Texans are going to be very bad. So the only person that I think I would start, and that's just me, and I know it sounds gross, and I know y'all probably going to burn me for it, but Jordan Akins, but I feel like he's a sneaky play, but only in DFS situations. But I do feel like Jordan Akins is sneaky.
Pretty much everywhere in Dynasty.
That's the only Texans I would feel comfortable putting on the field. I mean, I'm pretty sure in deep leagues you have to, but I'm saying in your regular formatted leagues, one flex play, no Brandon Cooks for me.
I like Brandon Cooks in the flex.
Yeah, as long as he can get his 6 targets, that's really what I feel like it's going to come down. At least 6 targets. I feel like he's going to have a decent game, at least a nice 4 game. He might not give you no ceiling game like that, but it's him and maybe Jordan Akins or maybe Nico Collins, but we know Cooks is going to be the number 1 out there.
It's definitely a wait and see on Miko Collins. I do feel like Miko Collins could be in that Elijah Moore conversation where he does good week 1 and we had to start talking about him next week. Okay, so just another question about that. So we got Brandon Cooks or let's say I think the 3rd wide receiver on the Bengals is going to be Jamar Chase. So which one y'all got?
Yeah,
Cooks. All right, Cooks or Jarvis Landry.
Cooks.
I think I'm going Jarvis Landry.
Oh, that's a good one right there. I think I'm gonna go Jarvis.
Cooks or Marvin Jones.
I'll check my mind. Cooks. Cooks.
All right, I got Marvin Jones as a start this week. He does have a pretty good matchup against Vernon Hargraves, graded 41 by PFF, and gave up a 73% catch rate last year. And we've seen through the offseason that even though Laviska Shenault was the most targeted wide receiver, and it could be due to DJ Shark not being there, but him and Marvin Jones did seem to have a little bit of a connection. And he missed the last game due to injury, so they kind of set him out when the starters actually got their reps in. So that could be a little bit why Laviska Shenault targets were inflated a little bit because Marvin Jones also wasn't playing that game. But I do got both of them in starts. DJ Sharkman, I got, of course, he probably drafted him. You got to start him, but I got temper your expectations. He's going against Terrence Mitchell from the Browns. Not from the Browns, but he's going against Terrence Mitchell. He was on the Browns last year. He only gave up a 56% catch rate and 2.23 fantasy points per yards targeted last year. So, and he's coming back off an injury. So I feel like it's like a wait and see for me with DJ Shark. I wouldn't start him if I didn't have to.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's 3 legit targets out there. So you just got to see how that's going to play out. Cause it's not like they're going to be like a high powered offense. So
exactly.
We need to know who's the number 1 out there before I feel comfortable making any of those moves.
And you got to remember James Robinson is still there. He didn't do good in that first matchup last year. They know they play twice a year, but he did put up a 16-point performance in their second matchup. And he did see 7 targets in that first matchup where he didn't do good. So I do think he'll be a part of the game plan. I think he's a solid RB2 option.
He'll must start. And I don't know. I feel comfortable starting Shark and Laviska. I feel like
comfortable. I don't know.
I guess Marvin Jones been there and should have more chemistry. So yeah, I agree with y'all on that. Shark ain't been practicing and all that. So yeah.
On to the next game, we got the Cardinals at the Titans with a 3-point Titan favorite with a over under 52 points. Kyler Murray. The Titans allowed 38 rushing yards to Watson through 2 meetings and 51 rushing yards to Lamar Jackson last year. So I know Kyler Murray gets a lot of his production on the ground, and that's what you're looking for him. How you feel about Kyler Murray this week, Lois?
Start.
I was gonna say, damn, did I mess it up? That's not your game.
No. Start all day, every day.
You
Like I
stupid.
said, I'm not getting crazy with it, bro. Kyler Murray is one of the, I had him ranked number 1 on the year.
Bro, why y'all
He's
saying
gonna be
his
a
name
start
like
every
that?
year. Kyler
Every
Murray.
Every time y'all say Kyler Murray, I just keep thinking about Charlie Murphy.
Why?
the kind of Murray, just
Kyler-
like the tone of
Kyler
it.
Murray, Charlie Murphy.
I mean, like, yeah, it kind of, like the tone,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely starting Kyler Murray. Definitely starting on the other side, starting Ryan Tannehill.
Mhm.
For the running back position, I am starting Chase Edmonds as a low-end RB2 this week. It's a high-scoring game, combined with Tennessee allowed the 7th most points to the running back position last year. Now, we don't know just how much Edmonds will be used between the tackles. We haven't really seen him get that volume consistently in his career.
Right.
So we definitely have to wait to see. You want to temper your expectations. Of course, he only had 1 goal line carry his whole career, but they talked him up all preseason and offseason that he's the guy. He saw 7 snaps with the starters compared to 3 for Connor in the only game that they played together during the preseason. So it does seem like he's going to be the guy. And even if not, like even if it is a true split between the tackles, he's still going to have that receiving, the receiving work. So his floor, I believe, is safe. And like I said, the matchup should allow him to do pretty good. Connor is on the fringe. I feel like he is more of a flex play. If you need a flex, a guy that has a great chance of getting a touchdown, because I think that even though Edmonds is going to out-snap him, out-touch him, I think he should be the guy that gets the goal line work if it's not Kyler or whatever. Like I said, Edmonds has literally got 1 goal line touch. We don't know if that changes, but I'm not going to think that it changes before I actually see it. So,
and that's one thing I want to see too, like, because Kyler got hurt last year running the football and all this, and it was talk like they kind of want to limit him running the football. So that's one thing I want to see when they get in the red zone. Are they just lining up and handing it to Connor, or are they still running the run option? With Kyler's giving him red zone opportunity as well. So I'm looking for that in the game.
Yep. On the other side, of course, you're starting Derrick Henry. Nothing else needs to be said about that. Receiving wise, of course, Hopkins, start him. AJ Green is who I want to discuss. He'll look to start his redemption tour against Tennessee defense. They allowed the 4th most points to the wide receivers last year. And then he'll see a mixture of Fulton and Jenkins. Fulton was graded out as a 58 last year, and Jenkins was a 67. Got a lot of flack last year, but he did see he had the 2nd fewest amount of catchable passes last year. So we just don't know if his head was in it like that. We don't know if he just needed a fresh start. We know AJ Green is a good receiver. We don't know how good he is at this point, but I like the matchup. I like that he has a fresh start. I like that it's a high over-under. And Cardinals are also road dogs, and they were tied for 6th in percentage of passing plays during games where they were underdogs last year. So everything is pointing to the direction that he'll have a pretty good game. I don't know how y'all feel about him. AJ Green.
Zach Ertz or AJ Green?
AJ Green.
AJ Green.
Gallup or AJ Green?
That's a good one.
Gallup.
Marvin Jones or AJ Green?
Marvin Jones.
Because I understand some of them are some hard. The last 2 are pretty hard, so you can go either way with those. I just know, man, I fell into the trap last year. A lot of people did, and AJ Green just didn't come out there, so I can understand people holding their gut and not wanting to start him. But in that flex spot, I ain't mad at it.
I think
maybe
AJ
like a
Green
DFS type play, maybe.
Yeah. I think AJ Green just didn't want to play for the Bengals last year. He was getting
got volume.
He got volume, And volume is going to be missing from the Cardinals offense. 74 targets went to Larry Fitzgerald last year, so the ball has. It wasn't like they don't. It's not that like they don't have targets for him. Even if Christian Kirk or Rondale Moore is the third wide receiver or the second wide receiver, he's still going to get a good amount of volume. And in weeks where he did feel like wanting to play, he had flashes of being AJ Green. Week 6 he went 8 for 96. Week 7 he went 7 for 82. Week 11 4 for 41 in the touchdown. Week 14 6 for 62 in the touchdown. So it wasn't like, and he just only had 2 touchdowns all year. So I think AJ Green, man, he's gonna be getting a lot of targets, especially with DeAndre Hopkins getting a lot of that number one corner responsibility out there. He hasn't played with another like former number. Well, he's not. I don't know. But DeAndre Hopkins came out and said he still looks like a number one. So we're gonna see.
Yeah. They homeboys. Like, you know you're gonna say that.
Yeah, for sure.
He's stupid. They homeboys.
What do you think you gonna say? Nah, bro. He look wise, bro. I gotta see where he.
Hey, this shit crazy. But I mean, he did about when they traded him.
I don't know why he came over here. He ain't taking my job, nigga.
Right. He ain't taking none of my 140 targets.
Yeah,
we all got
that is kind of interesting though. Just real quick, that he had the fewest or second fewest amount of catchable passes last year, but people in that same offense looked pretty good with Joe Burrow. So I don't know. I don't know if that has something to do with like just Green just not running the routes 100% and making these passes look uncatchable or something. But it's something don't add up there. So.
They didn't practice a lot throughout the year.
That's
also.
That's true.
Because he wasn't going to practice. So, but I do think AJ Green could be a sneaky look. I would wait and see, but I wouldn't be surprised. He's another one of them. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes and has a good game.
That's
it.
I think that's it. On the other side, like I said, you're starting Henry, Tannehill, starting the receivers in Brown and Julio, and I'm not starting the tight end Ferkser out there. So I think it's pretty cut and dry with this game.
All right. Well, the Chargers are at the Washington football team. Did y'all see the names that they was going to come out with? Like they came down with like a final 7 or something gross. Terrible. Yeah, I think the Armada
football team better than every one of them.
I know. I like the Washington Armada. That sounds like I can't really say that word, but I feel like that's hard. But anyway, it's a picking between the Chargers and the Washington football team. Over under 44.5 points. Justin Herbert will be the starting quarterback for the Chargers. The Washington football team only allowed 91 yards per game through the air last year, second in the NFL. So they are a great defense. People expecting them to be the fantasy defense of the year. How you feel about them, Javar?
Like you said, Herbert got a touch matchup, but you got to start your stud. The defense allowed the third fewest yards and the fifth fewest points. 2 offenses last season, and they allowed 6 yards per attempt last year, which is 4th in the NFL. So I got him the quarterback too, but you still got to start your stud. Running back, we heard the news about Eckler. He's battling hamstring issues, so just have your ear on that. Just stay tuned to your phone. But if he's start, even though against this defense, you got to start him. Even if he can't get enough juice in the rushing game, he's still going to be targeted a lot in the passing game to be enough to warrant running back 2 numbers. And if he get a touchdown, he'll be a running back 1. So if he's playing, definitely start Eckler. Wide receiver, start your stud, Keenan Allen. Volume is key here. He should get a lot of short to mid-range passes with the Washington football pass rush. Mike Williams has been hyped up all camp by the OC, saying he's starting X in this offense, so he should have a productive season and get targeted amount of time. But against this defense, you should be able to find better starts than Williams this week. I will kind of pivot somewhere else. But if you got to, you can start him in the flex. I got to start him in the flex somewhere. It's a good thing, but maybe not. Mike Williams or Michael Gallup. Who y'all start?
Why are you talking yourself through a lot of decisions while giving analysis, bro?
Right. Just cut it right there.
I got to start him somewhere in one league, but maybe not. But maybe I will. We'll see. But yeah, I don't think I'm gonna start him.
All right. I can either start Russell Gage or Michael Gallup over him. So we'll see.
Russell Gage every day, all day.
And the tight ends for the Washington football team defense averaged 11 fantasy points towards tight ends last year. So Jared Cook really doesn't have any upside there. And I want to see if Jared Cook is more so the red zone guy who gets on the field from the 40 end type thing, or is he going to be utilized a lot and what the backup guy is going to do. So I just watch and see with tight end position. Anything else for this team?
I think the rookie tight end is going to be the starter out there. I think he's going to end up out snapping. Yeah, I think Parham. I didn't want to mess his name up. Parham. I think he's going to end up out snapping Jared Cook.
But the thing is, he can out snap him. But if he get to that red zone or close where they're close to the end zone, is he the guy to be on the field? That's what they did with Antonio Gates. He towards the back end of his career, let the young guy get burned. But once they got close to that red zone, Antonio Gates was in there.
And this is
Antonio Gates is a Hall of Famer too.
We need data points.
Ain't no slouch.
We need data points.
Yeah. So I wouldn't start
until we see it.
And I'm not starting Mike Williams. I think that's all I had to say about.
Yeah.
So definitely, I know you said to mention or temper expectation on Herbert. Would you start Ryan Fitzpatrick on the other side?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No?
I'm not part of this start Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's going to be great this year. Also, what I wanted to mention about the Chargers, I don't think
fantasy, bro.
I do, but I'm saying, but we also seen him be sorry too. And I also want to mention one thing about
we don't remember
the Chargers.
those times though, bro.
I
just remember Fitzmagic.
I think one of the things we want to mention about that Chargers defense is that they do have Derwin James coming back, all pro safety. So that is something to be on the lookout for about that Chargers defense.
And they have a couple other players coming back.
Joey Bosa too.
I have him as kind of as a sit. You can pivot, go somewhere else. This defense was a top defense before injuries last year. Fitz is known to give away the football, and with like you said, when Derwin James back, the secondary should be more locked in place and should play much better. So I would just stay away and pivot this week. Gibson has a tough matchup against an improved defense, but you're going to start your stud. He's going to get. Especially with a Curtis Samuel battling injury, let's just open up a lot for like J.D. McKissick could probably be out running routes. So Gibson should get a lot of touches running or receiving the football. Wide receivers, you start your stud. McLaurin is in line for a lot of targets. Curtis Samuel is out. Even though the Chargers allowed the 9th fewest passing yards per game last year, I feel like volume is going to be key with McLaurin. And he's with a better quarterback. So I like him to go this game. And then tight ends, Logan Thomas, you start him. Curtis Samuel's out. So you pretty much bumping up targets for all these guys. Brown, I will wait and see. Dummy, how you pronounce his first name?
What did he say?
I said Diami.
I don't know how to say it, so I'm not gonna mess it up. So you say
Diami? I think it's Diami.
So Diami Brown, I will just wait and see approach for him. But sounds like through camp and everything, he's a stud. So it's gonna be interesting to see him play and see what we got in here or got in him. So that's all I have.
I pretty much agree with everything.
Yeah, I'm going Logan.
But did you mention Logan Thomas?
Yeah, I said start a tight end. Everybody's pretty a bump up. I will wait and see on J.D. McKissick and see what his role is with Curtis Samuel's out before starting him. But all the studs get a bump up.
I like Logan Thomas, especially now with Curtis Samuel out too. Tony a fool, nice. Bro. That boy just went and picked up Tony Jones Jr. in one of our leagues. That boy a fool. Anyway,
that's the only reason you're here. He said, "Boy, I need some tips." Tips.
Going on to, I'm glad this game landed on me. One of my favorite games of the week. We got the Eagles at the Falcons. Falcons are actually 3.5 point favorites with a over under 48 points. Of course, you're gonna start Matt Ryan. I think, especially like wherever you drafted him at, you probably drafted him as your starter, so don't go against the grain. He still plays in one of the most high-power offenses in the league. On the other side of the ball, we got Jalen Hurts. I got him as a start also. The last year the Falcons only gave up 104 yards on the ground, but that could have been due to them giving up 293 yards per game, pretty much 300 yards a game through the air. Through weeks 14 and 17, when Jalen Hurts was a starter, he did finish as a QB6. And I think he only finished second to Lamar Jackson as far as rushing yards go for QB. So I think he'll be a solid start against that Falcons team, who I do think the Falcons do have a better defense than most people think, but that's neither here nor there. Miles Sanders, I think, should be a start. Also, he did miss 3 games year, and he missed the end zone 12 times. Along with that, also, he did have only 6 touchdowns on the year. PFF graded him as a 33 for receiving. He had 5 targets, 2 targets, and 6 targets, while Jalen Hurts was the starting quarterback for the year. So I do think that it's an upside there for him to be a receiving, catching running back, even though they went out and drafted and they still house any receiving, catching running back that they can put their hands on, with Boston Scott and Kenneth Gainwell, who I don't feel comfortable starting any of those these weeks till we see how this shakes out. Onto wide receivers. Onto the other side of the ball, I'll start with Mike Davis. I had Mike Davis down as a start. He's definitely probably in your RB2 conversation this week. The Eagles were pretty good rushing defense. They did give up 125 yards on the ground last year, though. I don't know what happened, but as long as they got Fletcher Cox there, they'll still pretty much be a good defense. Last year, Mike Davis has always been talking about all season that he did fall off. The first 3 weeks he did pretty great, but then after that he didn't post a game above 10 points. He only had 7 games where he scored more than 10 fantasy points, and that's the memory that I have about Mike Davis, but I don't know what everybody else is remembering about him. So I do think he'll start the season off strong, but we'll see where it goes from there. Y'all got anything before I keep going to the wide receivers?
No, just Hurts has number 1 overall QB upside this week. You mentioned what they gave up the quarterbacks last year, and combined with him averaging almost 25 points a game, with a game that he got pulled midway through. Yeah, he has QB1 upside this week, but everything else is good to go.
The Falcons should be pretty good this year. I'm just saying, just be on the lookout. They have a new defensive coordinator. I'm not going to let you sit there and dog.
I ain't gonna lie though, they might be good, but boy, you say it every chance you get, even when they ain't good. So I don't believe you right now, bro. Like, I'm just saying. All right, you've been saying that for 3 years, bro. I don't know, bro. Our defense, every time it's like a matchup again, I don't know, bro.
We got injuries. We had injuries, bro. We had injuries.
When everybody healthy, fan, he has no filter to anything. He has no filter.
I'm so glad the Falcons landed on me. It's so crazy. As far as wide receivers, Devontae Smith, he will see AJ Terrell, second-year cornerback for the Falcons, who was graded as a 60 by PFF, still top 10 among rookie corners last year. But I do think Devontae Smith will get a lot of the targets, so I do think he's safe. I don't see a big game for him, but I do think you can roll him out there. I know we all saw a lot of hype videos on Jalen Rhaegar. I'm more of a let's wait and see what happens. Last year he had 4 targets, 8 targets, and 7 targets while Jalen was the starter, but there was no other competition on the field for him. So I will wait and see what happens with him. Quez Watkins, I wouldn't be surprised if he had a touchdown. Him and Jalen Hurts seem to have a rapport, but he's more of a DFS play for me. I wouldn't roll him out there, even though he is going against Isaiah Sorry-ass Oliver, but he did get better once they put him in the slot last year. So that's just something to be on the lookout for if you play DFS. Go Dirt is definitely a must start for me.
Yeah, I got some dirt outside. Sorry, my bad.
I was saying it right the first time too.
Put emphasis on that shit. Got dirt. Go there.
I do think he's, of course, a must start. Even though he's going against Deion Jones gives up a 76% catch rate and when targeted. Ertz, however, he's a tricky play for me. I think in sketchy situations where you don't really have a tight end, I guess you can roll him out there because I do think the targets will be funneled to the tight ends with Jalen Hurts being the quarterback. But I wouldn't feel comfortable with Ertz. How about you?
Well, I feel like last year when they both started, but that was with Wentz and other quarterbacks. I feel comfortable with Goddard, but Ertz, if you can pivot somewhere, go ahead. I will only start him in the flex, but you should be able to pivot somewhere else. I just feel like he's gonna get a touchdown. He's gonna get something. Like they've been saying, he looked great. That it's the two bad.
The hair, bro. I'm telling you. Whenever he dyed his hair blonde, bro.
I feel like I'm gonna sit Ertz and he's gonna have like a 14
When she
point.
dyed her hair blonde. Oh, it's a Jay-Z verse about dyeing her hair blonde. I can't think of it right now. I can hear it in my head. But on the other side of the ball, we got Slide Red. Of course, you're gonna start him. Who I wanted to talk about was Russell Gage. I know a lot of people are having wide receiver 2 problems, and they don't know who to start at wide receiver 2. Sound like Jabbar has a lot of those problems. We got a bet going on that Russell Gage beats whoever he has.
It's over with, bro. He ain't even starting no games.
No, we said points per game. We said points per game.
Okay.
Look at him. Look at him.
Russell Gage, man, I've been preaching his name all offseason. I do think he's in line for a big year. He should put up decent wide receiver 2 numbers. I do think he's very startable. He'd be matched up against Avonte Maddox, who PFF has graded as a 39 and allowed a 62% catch rate for most of the game. For most of the year last year. So if you got Russell Gage, man, if he fails, y'all can all blame me, and I'll take it. But week 1, I'm saying roll Russell Gage out there.
I don't think he's gonna fail. I think he might fail as a wide receiver 2, is what I'm saying. There's a lot of guys he's gonna have to beat out. You think he has a wide receiver 2 week this week?
I like him in the flex.
Let me come. Yeah. I stand on that. I stand on it.
I mean, I like him as a flex play, wide receiver 3/flex play. So,
but top end wide receiver 3. Give me top end. Give me top end.
I could see that more of a possibility.
26, 27.
And I'm not saying that he's not going to have wide receiver 2 weeks. He definitely is, bro. He's going to be getting the volume to do that. But
the over under is what? What was the over under? 48. So it's a high scoring game, man. I think he'll score. I think he has a rapport with Matt Ryan in the end zone, and I definitely think he'll be a touchdown recipient this game. Kyle Pitts on the other tight end. Of course, you want to start him. I'm interested to see. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they line him up on the field.
Bro, I cannot wait.
Carlos been trying to trade me Kyle Pitts, and I should have took it the first time. I should have just took Jamar for him straight up. But now he's like charging something. But I feel like it's taxing at this moment. But the way my Falcon tattoo is set up, as soon as I see him go crazy. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because I don't.
You should have been took that, bro.
But no, it's a different deal on the board now. I tried to go back and get that one, but it's not acceptable. So hopefully Jamar go out there and have a good game, and then
he is.
I drafted Pitts over Chase.
The next game, we got a 2.5-point favorite. Seattle Seahawks are at the Indianapolis Colts with a 50-point over/under. Russell, he did cook for those 9 straight games, and then that 9th game, he kind of like sizzled a little bit. I wouldn't know if you want to call that cooking.
No, it definitely wasn't cooking.
He was simmering.
He had the itis the last second half of the season. It was bullshit.
He still scored those 20 points, so it wasn't like he did.
He ain't doing week 15 when I needed him.
He's stupid.
Fuck you,
me. Is this the last game of the episode?
Yeah.
All right, so let me go ahead and put that out there. Last game of the episode, last game of part 1, week 1, man. All right, now go ahead. I think he. I don't.
Wilson, bro.
I mean, yeah. I was more so talking about like all year, man. I can never really trust Russell Wilson. I try not to have him on as many teams as I can.
They just don't let him cook. We saw what happened when they let him cook. He was literally MVP discussions, quarterback 1, ranked quarterback 1.
They weren't winning though.
And then exactly, and then Pete Carroll was like, you know what? That's enough.
That's it.
Turn the ball over too much, you lose the games, bro. And they went right back to the shits, man. So hopefully they start off the year letting him cook, bro. He's super efficient, so he's not gonna be a bum even when they're not letting him cook. So it's Russell Wilson. So he's super efficient. I'm starting him.
Super efficient.
It's
a little bit consistent.
Yeah, exactly. Half the year. Running back wise, you're starting both running backs on starting running back. You're starting Chris Carson, starting Jonathan Taylor. Nyheim Hines, I think he's a good flex play this week. Last year, he averaged 4.7 targets a game, and the report just came out saying that they want to get him more involved. So he'll get his touches sprinkled in between the tackles, but I think that receiving work is going to give him a nice floor. Receiver wise, on the Colts, I'm starting Michael Pittman as like a wide receiver 3. T.Y.'s injured, so Pittman does have the opportunity to be the wide receiver 1. He was in and out of the lineups last year, but he gave you a decent floor of 8 points a game when he saw at least 5 targets. So I think he should easily see that volume plus some. And now that he has another year of experience under his belt, he's coming in healthy. So definitely a solid wide receiver 3, flex play. And Paris Campbell, he went out last year pretty, he got injured 2nd year in a row. He pretty much had a season-ending injury, but the team does believe in him. He had that one game where he had 9 targets, so we can't forget that he was a big part of the plans. I think he's more of a wait and see this week, though, maybe like a DFS type play, just because we don't know exactly if he's still going to see that type of volume. On the other side, of course, we're starting DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Anything I got to say about?
I wanted to say, how I've been talking about Zach Pascal for the last couple of weeks. So
Pascal, okay.
just be on the lookout for Zach Pascal. I know a lot of people are on the Michael Pittman train, but don't be surprised. What did I say? Like 6 catches, 50 yards, and a touchdown. Yeah. So don't be surprised if that happens. If Zach Pascal is on your waiver. If he's on your waiver wire, I would definitely go pick him up because
it seems like he does that shit week 1 all the time too. He does it. You got week 1 superstars like Deshaun Jackson and Sammy Watkins. Pascal might be a week 1 superstar. He might be on to something, bro.
Yeah, he's one of my sneaky plays.
Yeah. So, I didn't talk about Wentz. How do y'all feel about him?
Wait and see if I can. In Superflex, I think I always got 3 quarterbacks. So even in Superflex, I'm hoping that my 3rd quarterback is better than Wentz. But I mean,
yeah, I would be really. I got him down as a fringe starter.
The over under is high, so that gives me confidence to start him. But I'm not like must start him. But the over under, Vegas says it's going to be a lot of points, so I do think that he'll be serviceable.
Yeah, I can't even say I don't think he won't like give you a dud this week because I just don't know. We haven't really seen him in preseason. He had the injury and then he was on the COVID list. I don't think he's vaccinated either, so I don't know how that's going to go. But so he hasn't had and this is a new team for him. It's not like he's been with this organization. It's a new team for him, so we don't know what type of chemistry he's got with these players. So I'm personally will be looking to look elsewhere, even in Superflex. Like if you do have like a Jameis Winston, I probably would maybe start Jameis Winston over him this week. Just so we see how he does. I mean, he does have some good positives. Seattle gave up the 6th most points to quarterbacks, and he is with Frank Reich again. But like I said, it's just too many question marks for it being week 1. So I'm trying to look other options if I have them.
Him or Sam Darnold.
Sam
Darnold.
Me too. So that's pretty much what we have with it. Then, if you can, don't start Carson Wentz.
Yes. And then on the tight end side, I'm going to sit Gerald Everett. I know he's been a popular offseason sleeper, but there was some concerns that were raised in that 3rd preseason game when him and Disley pretty much split snaps evenly. And then you have the fact that Indianapolis was good versus tight ends last year, allowing the 4th fewest to the position. So I want to wait and see what Everett. You didn't spend a high round pick on Everett, so I don't think you have to force him into your lineup. So then on the Colts side, I'm not starting any of the tight ends over there.
Be on the lookout for Mo Alley Cox. If Mo Alley Cox has a good week, if he's on your waiver wire, you need tight end. I would go pick him up because you always want to be ahead of the week that it happens. So I would go pick him up because the Frank White does target his tight ends, and I feel like he's the only serviceable tight end out there. So if he's on your waiver wire, go stash him if you need a tight end.
Facts.
That's it.
We did it.
That's it. Week one, part 1 in the bag. First of all, Thursday night, who you got? I got Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, easily.
Yep.
All right, so we all on Tampa Bay. Thursday night, be on the lookouts for your injury, any live injury reports. Be on our social media so we keep you up to date with the newest news. Make sure all the players that are playing in position roles and not the flex position, even your quarterbacks in super flex leagues. Yeah, man, it's finally here. Week 2 is coming up next. I mean, not week 2, but part 2 is coming up next. How y'all feel? Sir. Friday, we'll be back, man.
Feeling great, man. Feeling great. I'm off Friday, too, so I'm going to be nice and refreshed, ready to go. And either be happy or sad because I have a ton of players in this Thursday night game where I am going to be Like, let's go,
Me
bro.
too.
This shit is
How
really
many
here,
points?
bro.
How many points would disappoint you from like the wide receivers out of the bunch? Out
Single
of
digits,
Less than
all of the
10.
wide, it's a lot of like
10.
wide receivers
They
in the
get,
bunch.
bro.
as
It
long as
is.
they get over 10, I'm cool. But they get
It's
less.
5 receivers.
Right.
It's all 3 from Tampa Bay. Then you got CD and Cooper, and then you got the quarterbacks. You playing the quarterbacks. Yeah, it's a lot of players going for a lot of people tomorrow night. So it's gonna be a fun night, man. It's finally back. Let's get it, man. I think Gabe.
We lost Gage. So yeah, good luck to everybody for week 1,
2
man.
minutes, bro.
We'll see everybody on Friday to give you breakdown the next 8 games. Hopefully on the other end of Thursday, everybody be feeling good, man.
Yes, sir.
We out.
Peace.